Hello, everyone, and welcome to our very first Tooth Talk segment, a podcast where we talk teeth and truth. I'm your host, Hannah, a local dental nerd and the face behind Tooth Fairy YYC. Joining me today is our
Queen of Clean
Teeth,
your friendly local neighborhood hygienist. I'm Ashley,
plaque's worst enemy,
owner and operator of Gentle Dental Brightening, as well as the institution behind Under the Gum, a podcast where we offer realistic, affordable, and consistent advice about taking care of your teeth and gums outside of the dental office. Who can afford that? I don't know. I can.
Not me.
Whatever. We'll help you figure out ways to be gentle, consistent, and effective with your home care without really mixing up your routine. I think our listeners are going to be amazed to learn that there's so many products that can absolutely help you change your life dentally without really committing to changing your whole lifestyle, which is important.
Today, we are diving into a topic that haunts espresso lovers and red wine fanatics everywhere: tooth stains. Join us as we go under the gums.
Hannah, what an intro. As a tooth stain superhero, I feel like I have just added a star to my cape. I'm pumped to be here. We're talking about tooth stains. We're talking about something that affects us all. Before we notice anything else about another person, the first thing we notice about them is their smile. The first thing we notice about them, realistic or not, is like, how white is that smile? It can sometimes be an indicator of social status, indicator of health, indicator of acceptance within a community. I'm not necessarily saying that our socioeconomical castes are correct, but let's be honest, it's something that affects us in everyday life. I can offer you simple, effective, and inexpensive ways to make sure that you are offering the brightest smile to the world. Whether we like it or not, our smile is the way we are first judged. And let's be honest, we're just trying to make our way in the world. We don't all have thousands upon thousands of dollars for veneers. So let me offer a few simple, straightforward, and easy ways to whiten that smile and give you the confidence that you deserve, the confidence that the world sees you with.
Amazing. Let's dive in. Okay, so let's start with the basics. There are different types of stains, but why? Why do teeth stain? Tell us, Ashley.
That's a good question. There are honestly a million different factors. I hate to beat a dead horse, but the most obvious one is how effectively removing surface product like bacterial plaque, tartar. Are you having it removed consistently? How well are you brushing your teeth? Are you flossing? All of things are factors that will affect how much your teeth stain. Do you have natural teeth in front? Do you have composite veneers? Do you have composite fillings? All those as well will affect how well your teeth whiten and whether or not they stain in the first place. Don't forget about external factors like what you're drinking: coffee, tea, red wine, soy sauce, fruit smoothies. All the things that are most excellent in life can lead to stain, but not if you are a savvy dental hygiene amateur at home. We're going to teach you all the ways that you can keep those stain off without incurring costly dental bills.
So, are you saying that I should skip my morning coffee and trade it in for water?
Well, I've met you before, so although of course that advice for everyone for a variety of health reasons is the number one choice, but of course it's not attainable. Live your life, my friends. Breathe. Have your coffee in the morning.
Live your life.
Yeah, there's no reason you need to limit yourself. If you are someone who drinks a ton of coffee, there are ways that you can go about doing that without necessarily adding to stain. First of all, impeccable hygiene at home. So brushing and flossing, getting all of that plaque biofilm off. Don't underestimate the value of a straw. I know a lot of coffee drinkers are like, well, I can't drink my espresso through a straw. Why not?
Try
Why not? It's not the end of the world. Bypass your teeth. The issue becomes when you're constantly dosing your enamel in sources of stain and not consistently brushing. We get that surface or extrinsic stain that builds up over time. Certainly there's lots of things you can do about it, but wouldn't it be easier just to avoid the issue in the first place? Remember, prevention. 100% of life is prevention. You can avoid costly dental procedures with prevention. okay? So have the coffee. Just don't have 6 of them. Sip it over an hour and a half. Just use a straw. Like, don't be
Rinse
losers.
with water
Like,
after,
Jesus Christ.
baby.
Like, work with me a little here.
Ooh, grab that floss spool. We're digging deeper. So explain to our viewers, Ashley, what is the difference between intrinsic and extrinsic stains?
I can easily explain that. The explanation is in the wording. Think intrinsic, inside. So intrinsic stain is stain that a tooth can develop over time. There's a lot of different reasons for it. Has a tooth been traumatized in the early years? If a tooth dies, it can appear to be a different shade than the teeth around it. That we would consider that an intrinsic stain. Extrinsic stain is stain that accumulates on the surface of the teeth. So for example, you're a big coffee drinker, you're a big red wine drinker, the surface of your tooth may appear a little bit darker, may appear to have that brown or reddish stain. That's extrinsic. The difference between extrinsic and intrinsic is that we can easily get rid of extrinsic stain with things like Crest white strips, whitening toothpaste, because surface stain is exactly what it sounds. It's on the surface, right? So when you're dissolving surface stain, it's much easier. If you have deep stain within your teeth, intrinsic stain, that becomes more difficult to remove. And that's not something you're being able to get off with a over-the-counter white strip, for example, or a hydrogen peroxide rinse. We first need to dissolve the teeth at an intrinsic or inside level before we can build outwards for a long-lasting and valuable whitening. Yeah.
Amazing. Amazing. Couldn't have said it better myself.
No, you couldn't have.
Okay, so if my teeth are a little bit yellow from like my morning coffee and questionable hydration habits, is there still hope?
Well, as my good friend Andy Dufresne says, hope springs eternal. One thing I want all of our listeners or viewers to remember is that teeth were never designed to be that paper white. We see actors and actresses or influencers on TV or on the internet and their teeth are that toilet paper white. That's not a realistic human color. Human enamel is only designed to get so white. I call them the whiterexics. I don't know if that's right or not, but they're people who never believe their teeth are white, even though they are crazily, blindingly white. Human teeth don't get to that level of white, especially the older we get and the more our enamel thins. That doesn't mean you can't brighten your teeth and make them appear beautiful and lustrous. And that is really what we're looking for. I just don't want people to think that just because you're never getting paper white doesn't mean it's not a worthwhile thing to do to brighten your smile. Just keep in mind, like, there's fake and then there's realistic whitening. And I've never once gotten human enamel to the shade of white paper. It's just not realistic. So keep in mind what is real and what is just for the influencers in the dental world, because it's not all the same.
For sure.
It really isn't.
For sure. So now we know about the types of tooth stains. Let's talk about treating the different tooth stains. How do we do that?
So there's many different ways to treat or to retrain enamel to reflect a little bit more of a lustrous glow. The thing to keep in mind that will affect how white you can get your teeth are, do you have restorations or fillings in the front? Keep in mind, whitening, no matter what the type, no matter what the cost, is not going to change the shape of artificial enamel, so composite, or artificial crown, porcelain. It's not going to change that. If you're thinking of having porcelain work or veneer work or composite work done, have your teeth whitened before so your dental professional can match that to what's actually going on in your mouth. Don't try to match after. It's much more difficult. There are many different ways you can take depending on how important it is to you. And remember that aesthetics don't always equal function, so it's important to talk to your dental professional. But if a white, bright smile is important to you, they will help you achieve it. But believe them when they tell you the things you need to do in this order. Speak to your assistant or your hygienist, because they are the ones most likely able to steer you in the right direction. It might be at-home whitening. It might be over-the-counter whitening. It might be something as simple as a hydrogen peroxide rinse. It might be something that we recommend you need veneers.
That's when you come see me.
But you don't know until you ask, and it's a legitimate question. So please feel free to reach out. That is literally what we are here for.
So we all know that there are numerous different types of whitening products available, whether it's over-the-counter toothpastes and mouthwashes that are guaranteed to brighten your smile. There's gel pens and whitening strips, LED tooth whitening, take-home kits, and then Zoom whitening. Are they all created equal?
I think at the end of the day, every product has been judged for its efficacy and its safety. And yes, I think each of these products will perform in a certain range. How great they're going to be, of course, depends on a lot of different factors. I personally do not like toothpastes that whiten.
Me neither.
So like the charcoal and everything, yes, they can immediately brighten your smile, but the issue is how abrasive they can be on the teeth. So things that are abrasive on the teeth, yes, they dissolve stain quickly because they take off that top layer, but over time they can affect enamel. Is it a long period of time? Yeah, for sure. My opinion, though, is to chemically whiten the teeth, which may initially sound that's not frightening. Like chemically, we are using the word chemical, but here's the difference.
Yeah.
Chemically whitening your teeth dissolves nothing but the stain, whereas mechanically whitening your teeth has to take a certain amount of tooth structure away to achieve the same goal. So when we chemically whiten our teeth, and when I mean chemically, I mean Zoom whitening in the office, take-home trays, white strips of any sort that you can get from the drugstore. When I say mechanically whitening your teeth, I mean charcoal or whitening toothpaste, which can certainly over a short period of time take off some of that extrinsic stain. But are they fundamentally addressing the inner layers of stain? No. So you get short-term results, absolutely. But I don't know, in this economy, I'd prefer to pay a little bit more to have that long...
Yeah, I'm not a huge fan of the toothpaste
I mean,
and mouthwashes.
If you are someone who has perfectly straight teeth that have no any sort of I know they look so good.
Like, wow, what are you pointing out?
Any sort of enamel issues, yeah, Crest white strips are going to work for you just fine if you follow the instructions directly, because they do work. The issue is how many of us have teeth like this.
However, I will mention, in my younger years, I tried out some whitening strips, and they did an amazing job for a long time.
But Hannah, what happened after you used those white strips?
I got insane tooth sensitivity for several years following that. Several years. And the only thing that took it away was time.
Yeah. So we've come across another caveat there. A lot of the products that are available over the counter that will chemically whiten your teeth, like white strips of a different variety, they do an amazing job if you use them correctly. But because they are designed to work in a short period of time, they don't take into consideration anything else about your tooth structure or anything else about your enamel. They work? Absolutely. And is the sensitivity harmful long term? Nothing but psychologically. It goes away. But I am a big believer in controlling the sensitivity. You control the whiteness. You control the level at which we do it. So I'm a big believer in in-office whitening, just the same as I'm a big believer in like getting my teeth whitened or treated in a professional setting.
Dental professional.
Yeah. Like you would, I don't know. Are you going to
people that were trained for it?
Are you changing to blonde next week? Would you want to do your hair out of a box?
No.
It's the same thing. Are you dyeing your hair out of a box, or are you going to salon? Are you dyeing your teeth out of a box, or are you going to the professionals?
Think about it.
Makes a difference.
So, professional take-home kits, they are a great option. They are designed to use over a period of time, so it's less likely to cause you that abrupt sensitivity. And they're completely custom to your mouth. They are controlled with how much product you're using. You can use more, you can use less, you can focus on certain teeth. And you can do it all from the comfort of your own home. All you need is touch-up bleaching gel. really.
So, yeah, I think the take-home trays are a really good option. It's similar to a white strip, but what you're doing primarily is taking a custom impression of the individual's mouth. I think we have a video of showing like what that negative impression looks like and how we actually design the trays. So they're made to fit your teeth exactly. They give a little bit of room so you can apply the bleaching material or desensitization material as you like, but you have enough room to accomplish it without like really like squeezing excess material out, which is nice. As long as your dental professional has given you the instructions, I do like the take-home option. The issue, and here's the issue with anything, is nobody wants to like do the thing at the house. You have to follow the instructions, which sucks.
Follow the instructions.
You have to follow the instructions, but nobody does. So we see so many people come back to us after a day or two, like, yeah, I got the thing and I did the thing, and it's been a day and a half and my teeth aren't white. I'm like, well, tell me what you've been doing.
Has it been long enough?
Have you committed to the process?
Have you really read the instructions?
Which is why this next type of whitening we're going to talk about is more applicable to so many more people. Is it pricier? Yes. But does it save you time?
Also, yes.
Time is money. It is what it is. Let's dive into the in-office whitenings that we have available next. So here we are at the end stage, the Papa Daddy Grande of in-office whitening, Philips Zoom. They are the OG. They have been backed by decades worth of research, and they are backed by a massive conglomeration, Philips. So Philips makes Sonicare. They make a bunch of different oral health products, and they also make the Zoom product, which I do in my own office for immediate results. I've never seen a client in my office get less than 3 shades of whitening within their appointment, but we don't stop there. Philips offers a wide variety of follow-up material, which of course I include because it's so reasonably priced in all of my packages. And basically what I say to people is I don't stop till you're happy. Your teeth are as white as you want them to be, and Philips has never let me down in
That's
that.
amazing.
In that capacity, they have never disappointed me. I've always been able to achieve whatever the client wants. And one thing I think a lot of in-office whitening issues come up is sensitivity.
Yes.
Sensitivity.
Yes.
So with Philips, they offer a potassium nitrate option that a lot of people don't give until after the treatment is done to decrease sensitivity. I say let's do it before.
Is that the desensitizer?
Yeah, potassium nitrate.
Ah.
I say let's do it before. Let's desensitize your teeth for a couple days leading up to your treatment. Why would you anesthetize a patient after you're doing the operation? You anesthetize them ahead of time.
That's genius.
Yeah. It has really...
It's genius.
It's made the difference. Like, it's made the difference. In the hundreds of Zoom procedures I have done, the pre-treatment of sensitive teeth has 100% made the difference. I have never had to stop mid-treatment for sensitivity. Ever.
And I, in the past, have done a couple of Zoom whitenings, and I've had experience people stopping after 2 to 3 rounds.
Unacceptable. I want
zingy.
people to get the maximum efficacy for the money and the time they have put in.
Yeah.
And so I do insist that my patients get treated pre-appointment with potassium nitrate, and that's all included. You can include that in your whitening. There's not an issue with it. It's a harmless application if you're making trays for them anyway, which you should, which is included in the Zoom's package. And I have not had one person who has been unhappy with that little bit of just, prevention. Yeah. Prevention. Like, we're preventing anything objectionable from happening during their very expensive treatment. Worth it. In my opinion.
Worth it in my opinion too.
I feel we've gone under the gums today.
Have we?
They were shallow.
They were healthy.
They were healthy packets.
All right. Well, we've covered so much amazing knowledge today. Let's do some rapid fire questions.
Yes, do it.
All right.
Ready, girl?
Whitening toothpaste. Does it really work?
Short-term, extrinsic stain only, as long as there's no reapplication of staining matters, yes. That's a lot of ifs.
Kind
of. A lot of ifs.
Meh. Is red wine or white wine better for your teeth?
Are you dumb?
I'm not. The viewers, I don't know.
Red wine is delicious, but of course it's far more staining than white wine is. That doesn't mean you can't have red wine. Don't listen to this.
However, they both do stain your teeth. Sorry. Science.
Stop drinking again.
Just rinse with water, eat some cheese.
How long do your teeth stay white after bleaching? Depends on the product. Depends on if you have intrinsically dissolved the stain that is accumulated in your enamel pores. Surface whitening will always be a short-term whitening goal. If you want long-term whitening, you have to use a little bit more of the effective material. It's a little bit stronger, and we are talking the custom trays or the in-office whitening.
Are you... Okay.
Are you more likely to restain your teeth after whitening?
Are you more likely to restain your teeth after whitening?
It depends on what you're having. Like if you leave your whitening appointment and you go home and you chug a bottle of red wine and don't brush your teeth, well, of course, you goose. But again, there are a lot of different tips and tricks your hygienist can give you. For example, keep a bottle of hydrogen peroxide under your sink every day after your brush. 30-second spit into the sink. That'll keep your teeth beautiful and white long term.
There you go. There's a secret
Cheap and
for
easy
you.
trip.
What is the worst stain offender?
It really depends on the consistency and the quality of your enamel, but I would say any of the drinks that have tannins in them. So coffees, teas, red wines. That blueberries are bad.
In comparison to smoking.
Smoking is an entirely different game. Smoking stains those biofilm colonies and those starter colonies. Tobacco does not stain perfectly smooth enamel. So that again is a question of how well you're doing at home with your home care. Stain's not going to tobacco stain is not going to stain your teeth without the build-up to encourage it.
There you go. Go get your teeth cleaned. Brushing with baking soda, harmful or helpful?
You know, a lot of us in the dental world think baking soda is super abrasive and we should avoid it at all costs. It's not. Baking soda is not actually. Arm & Hammer baking soda toothpaste is one of the least abrasive toothpastes available on the market. Baking soda is not your enemy. It really isn't.
That's new info for me.
Mm-hmm.
Charcoal toothpaste, helpful or harmful? Does it really work?
Charcoal toothpaste can help initially. Charcoal toothpaste works by abrading enamel and the stains on it. So it can often work initially, especially if you're a hard scrubber or if you're using it consistently. I tell my patients that please go ahead and use your charcoal toothpaste, but please don't use it long term, because after a while you may notice that your teeth become more yellow, not because the charcoal isn't working, because it's been abrading your enamel this whole time. Yeah, so it's not bad if you've got a charcoal toothpaste. I'm not saying throw it out. I'm just saying be aware that it's not the best way to whiten your teeth. So.
Of all colors, why do our teeth turn yellow?
What everybody is thinking of is outside stain. What we're forgetting is that underneath that white outer layer of enamel is a different material. It's called dentin. Dentin is what compromises the inside of that egg. So the outside shell is enamel, which is bright white, especially in your early 20s to 30s. And then over time, enamel gets thinner and thinner and thinner and thinner. And what's exposed is an entirely different yet natural material called dentin. Dentin is not white. Dentin is either yellow or gray. So many people think, like, why do my teeth yellow so much? I'm 85, why are my teeth so yellow? Your teeth are perfectly healthy. Your teeth are perfectly natural. It's just they have a very thin layer of enamel anymore. It's not harmful. It's just natural progression of life. Don't worry if your teeth don't look the way they did when you were 20. They were never meant to.
There you go. Does vaping stain your teeth?
Vaping is a whole other podcast that we will get into later.
Okay.
And the surface, no. Scraping doesn't stain your teeth. We'll talk more about it later.
Okay. Sonicare versus Oral-B.
Don't even fuck with me. It's Sonicare all the way. Oral-B is something the dentist says.
Sonicare.
If you're rushing when you're brushing, you miss plaque, and that is whack. So make sure to hug the gum on and get hygiene back on track. Oral-B, great toothbrush. I love the Oral-B for a lot of different situations. Seniors who only have a few teeth, right? Kids with ortho, above and below the brackets, Oral-B all the way. Sonicare works a little bit different in that we don't get that spinning, rotating oscillation. We get a lateral vibration. And that lateral vibration, if you slowed it down, would equal 31,000 toothbrush strokes a minute. Which I find is I find it's easier to get into the nooks and crannies. But again, that is an entire other podcast because I've got like examples.
You've got
there's gonna be
a whole brain of knowledge in there.
Dude, like, let's minimalize it because I've got a lot going on in here.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah, I do.
All right, listeners. Well, that's the takeaway here. It's all about understanding those stains, both the obvious and the sneaky ones. Good habits like brushing and flossing and
reduction of plaque biofilm.
Mm-hmm.
The big one is if you want your smile to be brighter, ask your dental professional. Mm-hmm. Don't be embarrassed. That's 100% of why they're there. And I'm always amazed. Like when I have someone in my chair, I'll say like, do you want to talk about like how bright your teeth are? How they look at me and they're like, I've wanted to do that for so many years. Well, why didn't you say something? Because they're embarrassed, you know? But there's a million different reasons as to why teeth won't be perfect. There's a million different reasons. Ask us. We want to help. Our job is boring as like, let us help you.
It is our job to help you have your most beautiful, brightest smile.
The best version of yourself.
Rock it.
Rock it.
Rock it. Well, that's all the stain busting wisdom I have for you today. Thank you to our special guest, Ashley, from Gentle Dental Brightening. This is Tooth Fairy YYC signing off with a sparkle. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more.